The winds of war which had been wreaking havoc in Europe had not reached Asia. Manila was at peace with the world. In a little studio on the top of the H.E. Hickok building on Skolta, announcer Hal Bowie picked up a microphone and bade Manila good morning. So, on July 15, 1939, that radio station KZRH, the voice of the Philippines, came into being. RH stood for Radio Hickok. KZRH is a commercial radio station. The purpose is to make use of it for the dissemination not only of entertainment but of information and education. KZRH had grown by leaps and bounds and had become number one. And then the war came, rather unexpectedly by the Filipinos, who had remained naive and innocent about the political undercurrent among the big powers and had been brainwashed into believing in an Eden forever. At 7 o'clock in the morning of December 7, 1941, Japanese aircraft carriers let loose its bombers and fighters to begin its devastation of Pearl Harbor. A few hours later, it was the Philippines' turn to be dealt similar blows. Davao, Baguio, Iba, and Clark airfields were rocked by clusters of bombs from planes with red balls, virtually wiping out the United States Air Force in the Far East.
We interrupt this program to bring you a
December 8, 1941, U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt declared war against Japan. It was World War II.
Yesterday, December 7, 1941.
During the air raids on Manila in the second week of December 1941, KZRH was completely sealed or blacked out at night, but broadcasting continued, and whenever the sirens wailed, everybody was down at the basement, which served as a convenient bomb shelter. April 9, 1941. From the island of Corridor, Second Lieutenant Norman Reyes went on the air with his stirring delivery of Bataan Has Fallen. The text was carefully crafted by one of President Manuel L. Quezon's speechwriters, Captain Salvador P. Lopez, and later to be the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. KZRH became the property of the Imperial Japanese Army. Personnel found themselves scattered, some in Bataan, some in the mountains as guerrillas, and some met death. The Japanese who took over KZRH changed the call letters and renamed PIAM for their propaganda use. KZRH, the best in the Far East, went off the air. 4 years of horrendous Japanese occupation followed, and it seemed there was no hope of revival. Then, in 1945, the Americans came back, and among those liberated at the UST concentration camp was the former general manager of KZRH, Bertrand Silen, who upon his release picked up the pieces and immediately reopened KZRH, this time at the top floor of the Insular Life building on Plaza Moraga. But it was still tough sailing after that, and until Silen found his godfathers in the persons of the brothers Elizalde, Ambassador Joaquin, and top businessman Manuel, who put up the funds to rehabilitate the station. Maestro Federico Elizalde joined his brothers as head of the Manila Broadcasting Company, the parent firm of KZRH. In the International Congress of Broadcasters held in the United States in 1948, a new set of identifying first two call letters for radio stations was given to the three Philippine regions with the constant letter D as country identifier. Luzon stations were assigned DZ, DY for Visayas, and DX for Mindanao. Now, DZRH continues to thrive in the coming years by giving the public the fairest, most accurate, and most comprehensive reportage on all events that truly count. DZRH has covered some of the most critical periods in the life of the nation. DZRH has exploited the radio's full potential as the medium that can reach even the remotest areas to serve the needs and interests of the people who are otherwise deprived of basic information for the improvement of the quality of their lives. DZRH, in its 70 years of existence, has lived up to the principle of freedom with responsibility. Station DZRH grows with the nation it serves, owes its continued top leadership and existence to its listeners. On its 70th year, therefore, Station DZRH will continue to keep faith with the Filipino nation and redouble its efforts to serve the people. To all the listeners and supporters of DZRH, mabuhay kayo! At maraming salamat po!
DZRH, DZRH, nationwide!
DZRH, nasa puso ng bawat Pilipino.